anyone who has even itna sa nationalism left within them, they will admit, no holds barred, no questions asked, this G20 was not limited just to the political dispensation of the government of the day. This was a people's movement with more than 258 events spread out across, almost every state and union territory, including Srinagar, including, remote parts of Arunachal Pradesh. Point number one. Point number two, I think the most important thing which the G20 summit has done, and absolutely all credit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his visionary leadership. You can call me And Bhat, you can call me Modi Bhat, what have you. I really don't care. I care two hoots about these epithets. But if you have this much of nationalism left, you will understand the kind of standing the G20 summit has bestowed on every Indian. I mean, look at it. From the IMF chief Kristalina Georgieva to US President Joe Biden to Mark Rutte of Netherlands to Rishi Sunak of UK to Giorgia Meloni of Italy to Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Union Commission, they've all said in one voice that India is going to be leading the world in terms of economic growth. The induction of the 55-strong contingent of the African Union now makes it G21. The fact that we've been one of the forefront leaders who actually pioneered the establishment of the Global Biofuels Alliance. And last but not the least, ये सारे जो डंका बजा रहे थे कई सालों से, अरे India has done a huge blunder by not joining the BRI. It's a different matter that Italy has said we will exit out of the BRI come April 2024. That's besides the point. But the fact that G20 is where the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor, the contours of that, those were defined and stitched together. And the fact that, as always, we decided that when it comes to poor nations who borne the brunt of the stick and have been at the receiving end, be it a Ghana or a Zambia or an Ethiopia, at the height of the COVID pandemic, if you notice, Padmaja, you've been covering this event intensively and extensively, we decided to go in for debt relief, but most importantly, the world understood within the confines of G20 that UPI, digital infrastructure, physical infrastructure to hai hi, but digital infrastructure is what is going to drive India to becoming, which is what Kristalina Georgieva said, that come 2027-28, not the fourth largest. India has the potential to actually become the third largest economy in the world, overtaking not only Germany but also Japan.